Welcome to Stretton Unfiltered, the podcast where fashion, purpose, and unapologetic conversation meet. Hosted by Annah and Sami Stretton, this series takes you behind the scenes of a legacy brand and a powerful social impact journey, sharing the stories, lessons, and voices that inspire change. Yeah, we're back for week 2.
Okay, it's exciting to actually be back in the podcast world, be having the conversations, and to be doing all this new stuff. And this week we are going to talk to you about Sisterhood Social.
Yes, Sisterhood Social.
Sisterhood Social, an exciting new venture from us, which was, and I guess we get to talking about how that was born.
Yeah.
But firstly, we've just come off the back of the first event, of Sisterhood Social, and what a cool night.
No, it was great. The room was alive.
Yeah, it was. And even, I guess we were optimistic around filling the room. We probably could have taken 200 people, but that's going to be the next goal. But we certainly got almost 40 people that came to a space to work with us as a trial audience to give us a feel for how it's going to work. And I think for me, there was lots of things that we're going to do differently. But that's the nice thing about a trial.
Just show there was a real need for it, and they're all there for the same reason, to connect. So it was
absolutely
really
and
nice.
Quite a diverse audience too, which was wonderful. But let's talk about what it is. Sisterhood Social, and it now does have a website, sisterhoodsocial.co.nz, was born out of a moment in time. I suppose there's any great ideas, and you hope that they are great ideas when you have them, but it was born out of a moment in time when I connected with my hairdresser, my local hairdresser, Robin, who is awesome. And she was back on the dating scene. And she was on the dating websites and becoming more and more challenged, I guess, around the experiences that she was having. And I started to think, she'd just be better going out with a great group of girlfriends, and finding new girlfriends and just having great experiences with, instead of in a space where she just constantly kind of was exasperated by behaviors. And then I had this kind of aha moment, and I thought, where would you go if you wanted to just meet a great group of girlfriends, like a trusted site where you could meet like-minded people, not necessarily, and I don't say this in a negative way, but I guess I say it in a fun way, not necessarily a desperate and dateless type proposition where you're in a really difficult space and you're kind of thinking, oh my gosh, I need to do something about it. But what happens when you're someone like me who's got a world of wonderful connections, but is always looking to enrich those and loves the new knowledge that comes from new friends, and especially in new areas of interest. Photography, for one. Just having people that are really wired into photography has been kind of special. And they're all new friends and new people that I connect with. So Sisterhood Social became a thing. And I said to you, I was thinking 50 plus would be a good space to start it from. We started to look at competitors, and we realized that Bumble was probably
they
our
are
only competitor.
Yeah, it's called Bumble BFF, and they're our only competitor, but still very much, as we'll explain, different to us, in the fact that it's still just a swipe left or right situation. You don't really know anyone else much about them apart from swiping left or right on their looks.
No, but I think the nice thing is that you took one for the team.
Oh, I did join up. Yeah,
I
signed up, and it was scary. I didn't swipe left or right, and it was. I wasn't good on dating sites anyway.
Or did you ever go on a dating?
No, they're kind of before my time.
Oh, were they? Yeah.
I'm old.
But yeah, so Sisterhood Social became a thing when we realized we didn't really have competitors in the space that we were looking to hone into. We knew that we were a trusted brand that had been in the space for 33 years. I had a huge social impact footprint where people had established there was real heart in the work that we were doing. And so therefore it became a nice extension to think about how we set up a website like this that would, I guess, enable women to connect more.
Totally. And we're a brand for women. It just seems like a perfect synergy to enable them in another way.
Yeah, well, I think if you think about the kind of the bullet points of what Sisterhood Social is, so we say it's for 40 years and over.
You can currently register online if you're 40 years or over. I've currently had to lie on my profile to get it.
Okay, so 40 years and over, you can register online. And the reason that we did that?
Because we felt like people in their 40s, or maybe over their 40s, 45s, are maybe looking to enrich. Maybe they've come out of the kid haze and they've got a little bit more capacity to make new friends.
Well, I think they start to move.
They move around.
Think differently. They're not, as you say, in that kind of fanatical kid space where, you just don't even have time to eat dinner properly.
6 o'clock does not exist, it's just throw them in the bath and hope for the best.
Yes, but we thought sort of 40 would be great. But when we started talking, we were 50 plus women.
Yeah, we
because
were.
We felt that was kind of the space where there was not only a lot of opportunity for women to meet, but there may be perhaps women that have relocated and want a new set of friends, and I don't say lonely in a disparaging way, but they're feeling a little bit isolated. And so therefore by working with an organisation, a trusted organisation like us, they can start to think about a new group of friends that will fit.
Well, yeah, like making adult friends is hard. Like I know when I moved home to Hamilton, making friends is hard, and it's only now that I've got kids that we've got common, like, it's easy now to, meet people with kids and you do the same things. It's like those like interests that if you don't have your kids at school and you're not doing the school drop off and you're not connecting at the PTA or something, how do you make those adult friends if you don't have a platform like this?
I think the interesting thing is so that's your perspective, is how do you do that and without being a weirdo?
Like, hello.
Without being that needy person that always wants to come to everything and is always.
Can you just invite me? I'd come.
Yeah. I'd come to the opening of a paper bag.
One of those people, yeah.
No. So I think but then I think about my level of connection, which is serious. Like I know a lot of wonderful people, but I probably wouldn't call them friends. And so when I go into an event or a function or a room, it's easy for me to engage in conversation, but the conversation is quite light. It'll be usually someone that owns a dress.
We call it surface level.
Well, surface level.
Then we get too deep, yeah.
Where someone owns a dress that I've created or we've designed over the years, and they're particularly keen on it, or it's been relatively enduring in their wardrobe, or they've got a connection with us through whatever. So it never really gets beyond that. And I think about when I get to a space where I'd really just like a different conversation, and I don't know if those people exist in spades in my life.
Yeah,
when you want a bit more deeper or meaningful, or just something that's been troubling you, or something that where you really value a second opinion by someone that is quite like-minded, or very similar to you in their perspective. So I think that's where I'd love to see Sisterhood Social really develops. It becomes not only a platform that will assist people with relocation and just changes in lifestyle, and perhaps where they do believe they need to enrich their life more, but those that are more opportunity driven, like myself, and think, wow, I'd love to have 100 new friends, and really think about what they could offer. And I guess that's why I continue to educate myself, not to find friends, but just to increase my knowledge.
Yeah, totally.
Knowledge.
And I think that's what the beautiful thing is about Sisterhood Social, is it will be able to enhance and help a whole lot of people in a whole lot of different walks of life from around anywhere.
Yeah.
All over New Zealand. It doesn't have to be pigeonholed into different buckets. It's for everyone.
It's for everyone. And I think
over 40.
Over 40. And women. You have to be women.
You have to be girl.
And I guess it's probably only going to work from a New Zealand perspective.
At the moment, NZ's good, but we will be trying to go global. But NZ's good.
I think NZ is good, but it's knowing that it's trusted. It's knowing that you can reach out to us if there's an uncomfortability. It's knowing that we can help you with your registration. And talking about it does sometimes appear a little long-winded. I know that some of the women on the night, which was our trial group, were a little bit exasperated in some cases, positively exasperated around the length of time it took to do the application and answer the questions. We do say that to optimize the match, the more that you can answer the questions, although they're not mandatory fields, the more that you can answer, the more information we get and the better the match.
Absolutely. If you only tell us you like cats and live in Hamilton, then the pool's quite small. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of cats in Hamilton, so I don't know if it's small. And we're not just matching you by location. So we found from the trial group that a Cambridge gal would be really happy to meet with a Marama person. So we initially started with proximity matches, and then we found that actually didn't matter. They were really happy to travel within half an hour. Yeah. Questions that we got to, and it's good to bring this up in the podcast, was that why do we need the ID?
Yeah.
And why do we have to put the ID in?
It's because we just don't want a whole lot of bots signing up with random email addresses and not being real people. And let's call it catfishing in this day and age. So the ID really just verifies them as actual people that are registered in New Zealand, and you're talking to a real woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
very important.
And it was interesting because the group was quite divided on that question, weren't they?
They were.
Some of them said, look, I totally know. I really felt
Yeah.
comfortable when I had to put my ID in. Whereas others said, like my ex-police friend. Oh, no, I get a bit weird about
Yeah.
having to put my ID, even though, so she declined to be part of my trial
and
group.
Yeah, people do. They've felt like maybe it was spammy that we were asking for the ID. Like, oh, this feels a bit like maybe they're taking my details. So it's such a mixed bag, but we've done it so that we can verify you as a real New Zealander, so that you're not just a random bot or, someone messaging asking for your bank account details. Sisterhood Social.
You need to. The message here is ID cleared up, so you're not a bot. Is that all of the questions are targeted to increase the match efficacy. So if you choose to not answer some of them, it just does reduce our potential to get that perfect match.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's interesting because there is one question when I first did my trial that said, what is the deal breaker? And then I thought, is everyone going to see this?
Yeah.
If they're a match with me, are they going to see what my deal breaker is? So do they?
No, we don't show the deal breaker, so you can go as ruthless as you want and we'll exclude you from those people. But it is your chance to say, hey, I really don't like people that do this or people's views on this, so that we can eliminate, so those people don't come up for you.
Yeah.
So you go for gold.
Okay, because that was something that kind of worried me when I was sitting.
Deal breaker. I'm imagining what people would say and it just pops up.
But I think for me it was, I really struggle with people that are negatively geared.
Yeah.
People that come from a negative space. And some people, life circumstances have just got them to that space and it's hard for them to even acknowledge they're there or even break that. And so for me, I just find from the get-go it's so exasperating that it probably won't be an ideal match. But as soon as I'd finished typing it and hit the sort of accept button, I thought, oh,
edit.
They don't. Yeah.
Frantically trying to go back. Yeah.
Yeah. So, more questions answered is good. More detail is good. A lot of the questions have got sort of the ambiguous end box that just says not applicable, other, whatever. So you can kind of get to that space too. But I think for us to be effective, and I think it's important we're effective, the more we actually talk to women about what we're trying to achieve with this, we've had such wonderful feedback and wonderful response from it. So initially, because it took us 6 months to get this off the ground and it started to kind of dilute a bit in my head, I thought, have we even got something here? But I truly believe we have after that event.
I truly believe after the event we had, because it was really nice. We have events here all the time, and everyone random comes and no one talks to each other because they're not here to talk to people. They're here to the main event or mum to speak or something's going on. So they wanted us to do that and get out. Whereas everyone that turned up was there just to chat to each other. They were all there for the same reason. All the ladies came alone. They'd taken that big gutsy step about coming on their own, because that's a huge thing too, turning up something cold start, don't know anyone. I'm walking into the room and I've got to have a conversation with them.
It's courageous, wasn't it? Because
they all on their own.
They all came on their own.
Yeah.
There was a couple that brought friends.
2 people that said, can I bring a friend? Yeah, it was like they're all so courageous. Like, I don't think I'd be like, oh.
But you know what was so exciting?
It's so cool.
That because it was a smaller group than we attended initially, and we kind of just nearly hit our 40 mark, is that everybody spoke to everyone.
Yeah.
At the event, we set up icebreaker questions. So effectively, there was a list of questions that everyone had, and you moved every 2 minutes, but we probably moved them every 1.5 minutes now and just keep that rotation going. And you asked those questions. You just chose a question that you wanted to ask. You didn't get to the old age, what's your name? Or, is the weather nice? And, in Tamaheri.
Oh, the weather's been great lately, hasn't it?
Yeah.
That's
so very much, good questions.
Thought-provoking questions, which were awesome. Yeah.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah.
Nice little moment the other morning. I was working and Tony put this coffee down on my desk.
Yeah.
And I said to him, as the coffee arrived, which is like 6 o'clock, and I went, oh my gosh, I am so in love with, and he thought he was about to get a nice moment, and I went, AI. I don't know what I would do without it in my life. And he said, I thought that might have been a nice little
I love you. I love my morning coffee that you make me and my delicious machine that my daughter got me for my birthday.
We did have interesting questions. It did enable conversation to flow. We broke them every two minutes. We were really enjoying each other. They just wanted to keep going. But at the end of the night, we had this engaged group that felt they really knew each other. They would never have done anything like that. And some of them were actually, even people who had connected with old friends, which was kind of cool. But that's not the purpose of what we were trying to do. It was effectively saying it's not some weird website. It's actually loaded with these awesome people. And I think the other awesome thing is we didn't just go to our Anna Stretton database. We went right across community social Facebook pages and brought in a whole lot of people that had so little to do with us or the brand.
It was a real mix. There was people that had never heard of the brand but then there were some people in clothing too, you know, like they're like, oh yeah, cool.
It's always
But it was really nice because we didn't just pillage our own database to get people here. It was real people that wanted to learn more about Sisterhood Social.
So let's talk about how it's going to work going forward.
Yes.
So at the moment, we're just in the final throes of getting the algorithms working. So the AI match is set up in the background. We just need to fine tune that so that you're able to see your matches. And then from there, you'll be able to go onto the site, enter your information. We can do that now.
You can do that now.
Information. We're only sort of minutes off you being able to see who you're matched with. And the events that we will roll out nationally will effectively be to give you a confidence that the type of people that are on the site and the mechanics of what we're trying to do is something that you're really going to enjoy. And I don't think there was a woman that left here the other night that wasn't just blown away.
No.
I mean, you've had no emails where someone said, oh, actually, that wasn't me, or that was difficult. Or,
no one.
I suggest you do something like this, or no one did they with the...
No, nothing. Everything was positive. And really lovely emails before I even got the email out saying thank you, you know, like they were keen to come to us and say thank you.
I think once again, talking about security's important. Security's been high priority on this site. We worked with a app developer that we knew well. We knew really well. It was part of an extended family connection that we have where they're doing some very capable things in the digital space in Australia. But in New Zealand, he did a great job and set that site up. So there's just some small tweaks. But as I said, you can go on now, you can enter your information. You can feel absolutely confident that security has been high priority to us. And if you're uncomfortable about anything, you just email Sami.
Sami at StrettonUnfiltered.
Certainly the site comes under the Stretton Unfiltered umbrella, as with anything that we want to do. So, and then from there, we will start to think about rolling out. And we're happy to hear from you if you think you've got a space and you'd love to host some events. Note that, you know, optimum, we'd like 50 to 100 people there. They only take an hour. We can do a lunchtime event. You could do it in your boardroom in the middle of a city, or you can do it in a local church hall. You can do it wherever, because it's such a diverse mix of women that actually come to these. For me, there's nothing wrong with having conversation with a 30-year-old or having conversation with an 80-year-old. It's finding a diversity of person that really enriches my life that I look for. And that's what Sisterhood Social sets out to do, is really enrich women's lives and bring us together to just do a multitude of connective things. Do you see your friends as using it and liking it?
Well, since I'm not 40 yet.
No, I know, but you were talking about a friend of yours.
Like one of my friends moved to Adelaide, and it was like, she's only got kids in daycare. So that's another weird one where you're not really making friends with the mums as you fling your child in before you go to work. So it's quite a quick, speedy drop off. You're not, they don't have out of school or after school things that you're integrating with. So when you're in that daycare zone, it feels a bit like, oh, how do you make a friend? I've moved to Adelaide, I'm all on my own. Once we get into that school zone, like I know I've got other friends that are like, have got another whole circle of humongous friends because their kids are now at school together and they're doing different events together, different fundraisers, different everything. It's kind of like overwhelmed friendships.
Yeah, I think too, even with those overwhelmed friendships, it doesn't necessarily mean you found the exact people. It means you've got a diversity of people that
you've got one
life.
Yes, very much.
And that you're doing a whole lot of things because everyone's having events, and so you're busy. But it doesn't mean you've got those people that you can sit down and really trust a connection with. You know, that adds real value, especially as you age. You know, someone that has your back, you know, that you can totally trust, that you are so like-minded in respect of the conversations you want to have, and you really value their input into those, versus the social butterfly type thing where you're turning up at people's places. I think this site will actually achieve all sorts of things. It'll do that social butterfly flitting too, but it will also actually do the deeper stuff. So for me, super excited about what it is. I love the fact we've got our first event off the ground. Even though I would have loved to have done it in December, you encouraged me to push it to February, which was great. We set the date and we made it happen within the time frame. We certainly had like 150% positive reaction.
So good.
If that's possible. So that was just awesome. Just to recap, very secure site. It's a site for a diversity of women that are 40 plus. I guess our speak tends to lean towards the 45 plus, but if you're 40, you can actually register on that
very
site.
Much.
There's a whole lot of reasons why a site like this exists. So there is that, you know, that grow your group, grow your opportunities, think differently, think outside the sphere, get involved in this stuff. You know, there's all sorts of stuff that women do that, you know, you may share interest with, or you may find a new interest. Find a new interest or something you want to do. I mean, hey, I didn't know how obsessed I'd be with photography or collage art or all that sort of thing, or Māori and Indigenous frameworks, until I started to dip my toe in those waters and just, you know, as the woman did the other night, show a little bit of courage around everything that we want to do. We're excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
We finally got it off the ground. It's got its own Facebook page.
Facebook, Instagram.
websites, all linked there. So
Yeah, and all easy to find.
Yeah, sisterhoodsocial.co.nz.
We hope whoever you are, wherever you are, we've done enough to get you to have a look. Not for you to sort of look at it and go, oh, I've got a friend who's really struggling to make friends or is really lonely, but for you to say, hey, I'd love to give this a go myself.
Yeah, totally.
I'd love to give this a go myself, and I'm going to introduce it to my friend. I'm going to introduce it to my mother. I'm going to introduce it to my sister. I'm actually going to go out and spread the word. So exciting new concept. Look forward to having us in your neighbourhood soon.
Hopefully we see you all as new users signing up online.
Yeah, and thanks for listening once again.
Thank you for listening to Stretton Unfiltered. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you follow us and share it with your friends. You'll find us on all platforms where you get your podcasts. We'd love to hear your feedback or your guest suggestions, so please reach out and join the conversation. Until next time, stay unfiltered.